This is my digital personality project by Claire Boyard. In my presentation today, I'm going to start off by talking about my two concepts that I had picked, including what 6 resources that I have to go along with those concepts. Then I'm going to talk about each of my mediums. My first medium is about my 2 favorite IEP teachers that I had in high school. My second medium is about how I became a teacher throughout my work. My last medium is going to be my role model, which is my grandma. Threshold concepts. Threshold concepts number 1. My first threshold concept that I'll be talking about is curriculum, which is more than just standards, textbooks, or course of study. I picked this as my first concept because it is important as future teachers that we are thinking about our students as a whole person while teaching and not just thinking about the standards and the textbooks while teaching. My first resource that I'm going to use to back up this concept that I have selected is the article called Willing to be Disturbed by Margaret J. Wheatley. I picked this article because it is important as future teachers to make sure they're willing to be disturbed inside the classroom and open up to different ways of teaching. Differences inside the classroom aren't going to divide us. Inside the classroom, students should be encouraged to share their own perspectives, and we need to ensure that other students are understanding, learning, and valuing that person's perspective on something. For my second resource that I'm going to use to back up this concept is the article called From Safe Spaces to Brave Spaces by Brian Arrow and Christy Clemens. This article is important because as future teachers, we are establishing ground rules for conversations and behavior. This provides a framework for those tough conversations to happen inside the classroom about diversity and social justice issues. For my third resource that I'm going to use to back up this concept is in Chapter 1, titled Situating the Self as a Teacher out of the Teacher Leadership Textbook. It is important that inside the classroom we are bringing leadership. We can do this by having strong, supportive faculty and administration who support teachers early in their career. This chapter raises awareness of classroom risk, including the level of engagement from students to parents. I also included this picture on the bottom of the slide because it is important to plan for those tough conversations, considering setting those expectations and listening. Threshold concept number 2. For my second threshold concept, I have chosen how teaching and learning honors people's full humanity. I picked this second concept because it is important that as teachers we are focused on the whole person of our students. We want to make sure that as teachers we are respecting every person who walks through those doors. For my first resource that I have picked is the article Why Do I Hate Myself by Cheryl E. Montez. In this article, it talks about how our education system isn't looking at the student as a whole. It is important that as teachers we are including students of diverse backgrounds even when they are different than our own. For my second resource, I had picked the reading 1.4 out of the Teacher for Social Justice called Dear White Teachers, You Can't Love Your Black Students If You Don't Know Them. I picked this resource because it talks about fighting for all of your children, not just your African American children. It is important that all teachers stand up for their students because it shows that parents or guardians that you genuinely care about them in your classroom. And then finally, for my third resource, I have picked reading 1.1 out of Teaching for Social Justice called The Complexity of Identity, Who Am I? I picked this source because it is important to me that I am embracing our full humanity as it creates the possibility of building alliances that may free us all. I want to make sure that I am showing my full humanity inside the classroom on a daily basis. Medium 1. Medium 1. Throughout my time at Sycamore High School, I had 2 amazing IEP teachers that helped me get through my high school career. Without both of these teachers, I wouldn't be where I am today. These 2 teachers' names are called Miss Collins and Miss Altoric. They are both second moms to me. They were both people that I could vent to about my own problems, school issues, boys, and talk to them on a personal level and so much more. They showed me that if I put effort and focus for my assignments, I would create a foundation for me to help me grow. Medium number 2. Right now I'm working at a daycare called The Campus at Kids First and the swim school at Kids First. When I started working here, becoming a teacher was not on my radar. However, with each class of students, I have built relationships and enjoyed watching the students gain confidence as they grow in their experience and maturity. Parents have also given many accolades I always love coming to both of my jobs every day, and there's never a day where I don't want to go to work. Medium number 3. Slide is about my role model. So my role model is my grandma. She just retired from teaching this past fall. She worked for about 22 years in both Wilmington High School and both Wilmington College. Um, Wilmington High School and Wilmington College, about 45 minutes from where I live. I live in Blue Ash, so that's about 45. She has been an art teacher there for those 22 years. A quote that she always told me when I was growing up, and still to this day in college, she always told me growing up, if teaching and becoming a teacher is something you want to do in the future, you need to work hard at it. Well, throughout my college experience and throughout growing up, I've always made sure that this is something that I go by and make sure that I try to do every single day when I'm going to school. And this quote to me is very important to me because I'm about to go into student teaching, and then I'm going to graduate in the spring of next year. And that just means if you work really hard at it, you can achieve your goals. And right there really shows that I am achieving that goal. And throughout her 22 years, she always brought me and my sister to her classroom to do any projects or just have a little fun. She brought me there with her students were there and with her students were out there. When her students were there, we always wanted to make sure that we were giving laughs to their face, even though in their real lives that they might not be having that smile on their face that day. We just wanted to brighten up their day, and that's what I really think teachers are all about, is making sure that you brighten up that student's day. And then she always says that you're becoming a teacher because you're going to be impacting a lot of people, and I think impacting a lot of people is very true. I think that every day I go to work and I'm trying to impact those parents and those students to make sure that they do well and have a great day. These are the resources that I've picked and my sources. Thanks for watching.